Moto Tubers, welcome back to the channel. I've got something I want to show you guys today, and I think it's going to help some of you out with troubleshooting a faulty wiring system on your Harley-Davidson or a bad fuse. The bike that we're working on just so happens to be a 2007 Night Train Softail. And this particular bike keeps popping the 15 amp fuse for accessories. When the owner brought the bike in to the shop, he said that he would be riding the motorcycle and all of a sudden the gauges would shut off or some of the accessories would stop working. And I noticed that when I started the bike, the blinkers weren't working, the horn wasn't working, brake lights weren't working, and several of the accessories that are actually all linked together through that exact fuse, the accessories fuse. If you are wondering how to figure out which one of those fuses down there are linked, here is the fuse box, and it actually shows you. The one that we're going to be dealing with is this one right here, the 15 amp accessories fuse. As you can see, that lines up with the fuse box. This here is what a blown fuse looks like. You can see the connection is no longer there, it's been popped. And this is what a good fuse looks like. That connection in the middle goes all the way through. Most of you should know about these already, especially if you're working on your Harley. If a fuse like this is confusing to you, well, that's why you pay an independent motorcycle shop or a Harley-Davidson dealership to check this out for you. But here is the little nugget of knowledge I'll give you guys that I've learned over the years when working on Harley-Davidsons and motorcycles in general, especially with electrical issues like this. First things first, treat electrical like it is water flowing through a hose. If you can think about it like that, it will really help you trace issues and problems in your electrical system. Because the accessories fuse is linked to several different functions on the motorcycle, like the blinkers, the brake light, the horn, and on this particular model, the speedometer, there's a way you can troubleshoot all of those and figure out which one it is that you need to trace, because tracing all of the wires to all of those accessories just doesn't make much sense. So the way you're going to test to see which accessory it is by turning the bike on. And after you turn the bike on, you're going to notice some things. You're going to notice your gauge is on, the back light is on, your headlight is on, and various accessories like that. And with your fuse panel open, as you see, I don't have a fuse in there because I'm explaining this to you. What you're going to do is you're going to test each one of those individually. So for example, you're going to test your blinker. Okay, the blinker works. You're going to test your horn. Honk, honk. Okay, your horn works. You're going to test your brake. Okay, your brake works. Your brake light comes on. Cool. So all of those are linked through that accessories fuse. But when we came over here on this particular bike and I hit the left blinker, guess what happened? Pop. You could audibly hear that little fuse go and pop. And that tells me it's in the left blinker control. I went into the taillight first because they're a little easier to get to, especially on these newer models. And I unplugged the left blinker plug. I inspected it. I checked all of the connections, the wire underneath the fender, and all of it looked great. There was no issues there. And like I said, the reason I checked this first here is because it's easy. It's just two Phillips head screws, and your wiring's right there. And I noticed all the wiring back here looks stock. It hasn't been cut, it hasn't been spliced, it hasn't been messed with. Then I popped this little cover off here and I checked the bulb, and yes, the bulb is fine. The bulb is working fine, and there's no obvious grounds or anything weird inside of the housing. Then I noticed this. On the neck, the hand control wiring that comes through these aftermarket bars has been cut and spliced. One of my pet peeves right there. Instead of this person going into the neck and pulling the CAN bus plug out and de-pinning it and doing it the right way. They did it the lazy way, and they cut and they spliced all of these. So that tells me right there that whoever worked on this before was an amateur, and they probably messed something up along the way. So I moved on to the hand control on the left side where the left blinker is. Let me show you what I found. Trace those wires up. You can see right here that they go into these bars. A lot of times people do that to run electrical wires, and it just makes it look really clean through the bars, which is great and fine. And then the electrical pops out under here. And right here, when I pulled this apart, look at what I found. See if I can get it on screen for you. There we go, right there. See that right there? That is a cut in the wiring that is grounding out on the handlebar and not allowing the current to flow, aka the water to flow through the hose. Picture this like your garden hose got a hole punctured in it by your dog biting it, and all of a sudden you've got water squirting out. Well, with an electrical system, what that does is it pops a fuse. So there's our issue, there's our problem. So I went ahead and put a brand new 15 amp fuse back in there, and I'm gonna show you guys that just by freeing this portion up right here that is exposed, you can actually see the copper wires in there. Just by freeing that up and not having it touch and ground this handlebar, watch what happens. Bike on. Gauges are working, that back light is on. Now watch this, I'm gonna hit this blinker, boom. Blinker's working now, rear blinker's working now. Let's do the left side. Left side blinker's working now, left side blinker. And my least favorite, test this old horn out. Ugh, ugly horns. Anyway, it works now, everything's fine. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get in here, repair this, and I'm going to make sure that it doesn't get cut and sliced on the inside of this sharp bar right here. I can actually feel it's about razor sharp right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix that, put the bike back together, and there you have it, Moto Tubers.